So, back in the days, my two favorite authors were Einstein and Nietzsche. That's just how it was. I looked up a lot of quotes, and they seem to say like true and real and wise things, and sometimes beautiful too. And you can't get much better than that. I don't like people who use the same words all the time. And so anyway, I was on a poetry site, and someone had this big project where they translated a bunch of poems. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, if they're gonna make a book or if they made a book already, but it's an amazing project. To translate a poem can take a lot of, it can take 8 hours of one day to translate a poem of a few words. Maybe not like that, but it's a lot of effort. And in this world, effort is seen as being able to drink as much beer as possible and work as much as possible at a shit job. And maybe that's not the meaning of life, really. Anyway, I'll try to read this poem. I might fuck up and then I'll try again, but anyway. If you read a poem out loud or any text, you'll hear it better. If you write it down, you'll understand better your thoughts and you'll get more thoughts from it. But if you read a poem out loud and try to read it, if it seems to rhyme, you'll notice something different. So this one, I heard that Shakespeare usually wrote in a meter which was made for horses running. And maybe he wrote a lot of poems when he was going from one place to another. And Shakespeare was really called Lord Bacon. I mean, it makes sense. I figured it out directly. I mean, if you call Lord Bacon, you don't want to be remembered as that. I mean, maybe he was called a pig or something too, and like they just make fun of him in the future. So he created this persona called William Shakespeare, and that person never actually existed. So, if I didn't mention, uh, the poem is right. I fuck up. I've written for 60,000 hours. That's 2-3 hours per day for 20 years. And vlogging for me is new, and I don't get a lot of use of people who care. But some people care anyway, even if you don't hear about them. One of these was Therese Johansson, I think, or something. We went in the same class for 9 years. I have never heard her speak. I've never known her eye color. I didn't know anything about her except one thing: she was a good artist. And I never thought about her for years. And I kept meeting more and more Therese all the time, all over the place. And I don't know, maybe she got pregnant eventually and turned into a parent instead of doing whatever she did. I don't know anything about her. Like Bella, sometimes when I talk to her on Facebook or Messenger or something, it was actually her sister who talked. And her sister loved me as much as Bella loved me. So, anyway, I'll try to read the poem and not fuck up too much. It's by Dorothy Parker, except she was called Rothschild before she was called Parker. And all people are good people because they're people. Bacteria are good people, viruses are good people, robots are good people, murderers are good people, etc. So there was a translation to Swedish, but he or she says that don't use this translation without permission. So whoever this person is who translated this, when that person has been dead for 75 years, then the copyright is released and then you can use it. So sometime maybe in 2120 or something, you'll be able to use this poem however you want, but not now. And it's on a poetry site. It's a small site. It's quite simple, and the admins do an amazing job. There's like 2 people who do everything on admin parts, and then there's 2 people who do the moderation and such. And they're amazing people, and people were whining about, oh, we make the site, you're nothing without us. But why did you get there in the first place? because they have a good atmosphere, they have a good aura, they have a good emotional power. So anyway, this is the English version, and it's not translated, it's original. And I don't know how old it is, maybe 100 years, maybe more, maybe less. And okay, I'll try to read it in a normal reading way. Some men break your heart in two, some men fawn and flatter, some men never look at you, and that cleans up the matter. This can be called, in China, with the Taoism, there is, for example, three wisdoms and another thing that turns it upside down. This is the core of haiku. Because a haiku should be like a place, like something interesting, and then it's gonna be put upside down in the last line, and that's a lot of work. And many haiku poets I see nowadays have this corrupted version of haiku where they just count the number of syllables or what it's called, and they don't care for the soul of haiku. So I'll try to read this in the metered way. Some men break your heart in two, some men fawn and flatter, some men never look at you, and that cleans up the matter. No, it sort of slows down at the fourth line. So I don't know pentameter or what that's called or something. I just write how I write, and that's how I write it. And what surprised me at first was when I uploaded the songs on SoundCloud. I was so tired of doing it. I mean, you upload so many sites, and it takes so much emotional energy from you. I mean, it's easy to just click some, but it you have it's complicated. Being an artist isn't easy, so you shouldn't troll them because you have no idea how much emotional energy they have put into it. Don't be a troll, okay? And don't be an elf like ruin them in the background. Just respect artists. You don't have to respect normal people because they're all assholes. But please respect artists. You can ruin them with a few words, but then they get stronger. So there was one artist who was like presented to me on Twitter. Gabby Hanna. So listen to her song Silver Lining. It's really amazing. It's like a mix between old school Evanescence and Nirvana. She has an amazing voice and she's an amazing person. And I hope for her all the best, and I mean that from the heart. So I'll take the poem one more time. Some men break your heart in two, some men fawn and flatter, some men never look at you. And that cleans up the matter. Now I think I look like Han Solo. Awesome. Oh, it's 8 minutes already, and this will be trolled or not trolled. It depends. Anyway, toodles.